Hey guys, welcome to the review and result show for the April 12, 2023 edition of AEW Dynamite. My name is Dan, and I review each and every AEW and ROH show. That's everything from shows like this to Super Card of Honor, so if you missed anything, you want a quick recap, or you just want to have a place to talk all things AEW and ROH, you can do so right here. So please go right below this video, click that like button, the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell. Guys, only let you see past, present, and future reviews that I do, but also helps others to find my channel. And without any further ado, let's get to the review. Dynamite kicks off with Swerve Strickland taking on Darby Allin, and this started off real quick with Darby going right after Swerve doing that float over stunner into a tope on the outside as only Darby Allin can. Swerve would answer right back though with a few kicks and ripping off Darby's belt and then using it on him later on. We would see Darby rip off some of Swerve's stuff by ripping off his boot to reveal his previously injured foot, and would go after it by twisting it, but he also bit on it as well. I can't even imagine what that tasted like or why Darby thought that was a good idea to do mid-match, but I digress. He would then sit on top of his shoulders and do a Poison Rana from the ring apron to the outside. That was nuts. We would see Prince Nana and Brian Cage get involved here, but despite that, it was Darby Allin locking in that last subber pin to get the 3 counts. This match was incredible. These two are just so damn good together. The chemistry they have together is undeniable. After that, MJF would come down to the ring for his mandatory appearance, and he talks to Darby, and he really puts him over in the early going of this promo. One of the lines that he said was that his match with Darby was one of the greatest in wrestling history, but then he would come back by saying that he once beat him with the headlock takeover and that he's not on his level. Darby would respond very wholesomely saying that, he went to therapy, he was really advocating therapy, which is great, something you should definitely shine a light on, and then he would say about all that he's been doing to help out his family, which is also another very beautiful thing that you can do. But MJF would run him down some more by saying that the AEW title is the only thing that means anything to him, and that he Sting's bitch, which would prompt Sting to come out with a microphone in hand, and he responds by saying that he doesn't really understand all this daddy talk, and that he's more of a cheerleader than anything else, and then that would lead to him taking out pom-poms from his jacket just left and right. So many different pom-poms in his jacket. And one of the last lines that he would say was he would mention Cody Daycare, which got a very, very audible gasp from the crowd, and along with giving some shout outs to Rick, along with Kevin and Scott Hall. Really loved that. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's the fact that I love Sting from the bottom of my heart, but this was awesome on all sides. More of this, please. Next, we have Powerhouse Hobbs defending his TNT Championship in an open challenge against Silas Young, Milwaukee's own Silas Young, I should say. Really cool to see Silas getting this opportunity, especially in front of his home crowd. Fortunately for him, this would not last long, as Hobbs would make short work of him after the match. It looked like they were going to do more damage on Silas, but then we would see the video cut to Wardlow outside, and he completely wrecks Hobbs' car with just about everything inside, including a freaking forklift that he forgot to shut off after he was done with it. He would then continue to fight him into the entranceway and would be separated by several wrestlers, but unfortunately for Aaron Solo, he would not be able to successfully separate them, as he would be powerbombed onto a table on the outside. It kind of looked like his head may have clipped the other table. I do hope he's okay there, but it looks like this feud with him and Wardlow is not done quite yet. We would then go backstage where we see Jay White and Juice Robinson standing together, and they talk about some of the best wrestlers in the world came from Bullet Club. Surprisingly, we would get another Cody reference, as they would show a lot of the previous members in video form. Also see AJ Styles in there. And we would also go on to say that there's never been a better duo within Bullet Club than him and Juice. Juice would then reference the beatdown on Ricky, and Jay said that you can call them Bullet Club Gold. As I said last week, I love this, and the fact that there's a Bullet Club chapter in AEW, that's pretty awesome. I can't wait to see who else becomes a part of it. Back to the ring, and this time it's Orange Cassidy defending his International Championship against the House of Black's Buddy Matthews, and Orange Cassidy really outsmarted him at just about every point early on. That was, of course, until he went for his orange punch, hit it, but hit it with his injured hand, which will allow Buddy to get right back into this. And later on, you would see them exchanging blows at the edge of the ring there, and Orange Cassidy would hit him with the Beach Break. and it would really affect the both of them so much that they would be laying there on the outside, just making it back into the ring before the count of 10 there. This match would really go back and forth, though, with Buddy really going after Orange Cassidy's hand, along with mocking him with his kicks. Cassidy, though, with a few DDTs and Orange Punch, none of them could put Buddy away, but just when it looked like Buddy was going to win with the curb stomp, he locks in the mousetrap pinning combination to retain his title. After a quick video package featuring Christian and Luchasaurus, we get a medical update on Orange Cassidy. Trent would say that the hand is fine and that he's on the run of his life, but him and Chuck are feeling a little bit jealous, and that they heard about what happened with Aussie Open and their title win, and they want to challenge them at Rampage for those titles, and that's exactly what they're going to get. That match should be fun. We would then see Ethan Page standing in the middle of the ring, and he would address some of the recent failures of the firm, but would also call out Matt Hardy for what he did. Matt would come down to the ring with Isaiah, and he says that you always have to read a fine print of a contract before signing it. Very important, you should always do that. But he also said he was manipulating him because Ethan is the biggest hole of the ass that he's ever met in his life, and because that he treated him and Private Party like trash. He would also get confirmation that if Ethan lost the hook, that him and Private Party are no longer under the dominion of the firm. Ethan would say, though, that there's more to the firm than just him, and then that's when they would get attacked from behind by Lee Moriarty and Big Bill. We would see Hook try to come out and make the save, but couldn't really do much against Big Bill, unfortunately. And who else is going to make that save? Who's going to do it? Nobody knows, but who? We hear the Hardy music play, and out will come out Jeff Hardy. He makes the save, plays all the greatest hits everybody with all of his moves. He looked great, and more importantly, he looked very healthy. I do hope that he stays that way. I do hope that they take all the precautions necessary to stay that way, because addiction is no joke. We would then get a video message of Kenny Omega from his home, and first off, that painting of him and Don is still hanging up there in the background there on the right-hand corner of that picture. It was really hard to focus on Kenny during this, but I did my best too. He did say that he understood what the BCC are trying to do, but took it personally once they went after Don. That for better or for worse, to him, Don is like family, and when you mess with family, you're crossing the line. It's something we've certainly learned from all the Fast and the Furious movies. And that what he's going to do to them is going to be much worse than blood for blood. I like this a lot because of the line about Don being his family, and what Don could be up to in the background could be interesting, what it will lead to in the future, but we won't have to wait too long to see where this leads for Kenny. Speaking of the BCC in this whole entire situation, they take on Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa, and this went just about as well as you might have thought, with BCC really beating the hell out of them before the match even started. Left Michael Nakazawa busted open. He would get swung out of his shoes. Cutler also got busted open, tried to fight back, but was all for naught as the BCC are victorious here. After the match, Mox got on the microphone saying that they put the Elite in All Elite Wrestling, which would then cause Kenny to come out, and as they were staring at him, the Young Bucks came in from behind and super kicked both Claudio and Wheeler. They'd roll Mox back in the ring and really beat the hell out of him as well. I was really surprised. It was a 3-on-1 beatdown at one point, gave him a BTE trigger, but just when Kenny was about to get Mox with a screwdriver, the rest of the BCC were able to pull him out just in the nick of time. We would then go backstage where we see Toni Schiavone standing with the Mogul Embassy, Brian Cage, Prince Nana, and of course Swerve Strickland. And they say that they are happy because of Darby's success is attributed to Swerve's legacy. His success is Swerve's success, and that the Mogul Embassy isn't full up just yet. It means we're going to see more members in there. That's going to be fun. And Swerve says he has some more scores to settle, and that they're going to leave with something. They got to leave with something. What does that mean exactly? Well, it won't take us long to find that out. After that, it's Riho teaming up with Skye Blue against the Outcasts, Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. And this would start off fast with the Outcasts going right after Riho and Skye, but Riho and Skye would answer right back with a dive to the outside onto Ruby and Toni. But Saraya, of course, would get involved here, allowing Ruby to take advantage, but you can't count out Skye for long, as she would kick both Saraya and Toni on the outside and would give Toni a Hurricane Rana off the edge of the ring. That was impressive. but they were no match for Toni's hip attack, along with a Storm Zero that would allow the Outcasts to get the win here after the match. It's another post-match beatdown, along with the spray painting, an L onto Riho, the nerve, and then a triple power bombing her. And then, of course, after that, Jamie would come out to try to make the save, and then Britt right behind her. And as she was going for a stomp onto Saraya, the rest of the Outcasts would save her. One of these days, I swear, one of these days, the women going up against the Outcasts will actually come out with backup beforehand. It's main event time as Keith Lee takes on Chris Jericho, and this match started off with Chris trying to chop down the tree that is Keith Lee, but unfortunately, Keith would respond by running him over and then giving him a kiss on his forehead that got such a funny reaction from Chris Jericho. He would then get in a lot of damage in, but due to some distraction from Daniel Garcia that allowed Chris Jericho to get back in this match, and then this would really go back and forth between these two guys, Keith Lee using his size to his advantage, and that would really come into play. And my favorite spot of the entire night was when Keith Lee would try to do a moonsault on the Chris Jericho, and of course, whenever something like that happens, the natural instinct of the wrestler laying down on the mat is putting up their knees so they would hurt their opponent. But since Keith Lee is such a big dude that once he hit him, it hurt Chris Jericho rather than Keith Lee. That's such a great little detail, and it's something you don't really see too often. But something that we do see often is JAS interference, as Garcia would distract Aubrey and allowed Swerve to get involved, attacking Keith Lee, giving Chris Jericho the win here. After the match, Adam Cole would come down to the ring to check on Keith Lee, and he would give that same look that Chris Jericho gave to him a few weeks back. Nice little detail there, and a fun way to end the show. And that was AEW Dynamite. What did you guys think about it? Please let me know down in the comment section below. This was another loaded Dynamite, but if I had to pick my favorite match, it would probably be Darby Allin versus Swerve Strickland. And if you enjoyed this review, please remember to go right below this video, click that like button, that subscribe button, and ring notification bell, because that will see past, present, and future reviews that I do, but also helps others to find my channel. So thank you guys once again for checking out this review, and thank you guys for being all elites.